When you're talking to AI, do you ever feel like it has amnesia and it's forgotten your name, it's forgotten your business, and it's forgotten your goals? That can be very hard to build a business off of, especially when AI is supposed to be this revolutionary thing that's supposed to change everything. Well, I'm here to help you solve that problem with a really simple fix and a solution that costs you $0. You don't have to pay anyone for it, and you don't have to give your data over to any big tech company in order to use it. And it's a pretty simple concept. The idea is if you want AI and yourself to remember, save, and build a shared context layer together, you need somewhere that can all go. And the answer has kind of already existed forever. The answer is pretty straightforward is think about like if you were working with other people. Don't even think about AI right now. Think you were working with other people on like a school project, a business project, you name it. What are you going to do with all that information that you're both creating? So maybe you're working on some financial stuff, maybe someone else is working on some creative stuff. How do you share that? Well, normally we share it through like a shared file or folder system. And that's the answer. That's like that's literally it. You could stop the video right now and go do it. But if you want to know how to do it and get it done right, keep watching. So the secret to this is the fact that it's a shared memory and context layer that is individual of any tool or any tech company or any sort of like AI magicness, you know? It's a shared memory folder system that if you stop thinking about what tool do I need, what prompt do I need, what skill do I need, and you just simply say like, how do I organize my thoughts and my decisions and my priorities and my business goals and the lessons we've learned, and how do I put that in a shared memory space that myself, my colleagues, and my AIs can all work from. And that's it. And so a folder system that has the files in it and how you choose what files to put in it will determine how successful you can be with AI. So there's a folder structure that I've built for myself and my team, and we use these 6 simple buckets. You don't have to use this system, but it works great for me, and I suggest it for you. I'm even going to include a starter pack that if you download this starter pack and answer just a few questions, it will actually reorganize itself directly how you would want it and how your goals are set. So first off, I have an inbox. The idea of the inbox was taken from this guy named Andre Karpathy. He's considered the godfather of AI, and he's the one who popularized the phrase vibe coding. If you don't know what vibe coding is, it's the idea that through plain English, you can code up applications, interfaces, and websites. I am a user of the concept of vibe coding. I've built websites and applications as someone who understands nothing about computer science. And so when this guy talks about things and I use them, I tend to listen when he talks about concepts. One of the concepts he talked about was really important was having a shared context layer that you can send things to and your AI can discern from it. He calls his raw. I like to call it inbox. It makes more sense to me. And the idea is this is where you throw documents, videos, notes, anything you come across that you think, I think this is interesting. I don't necessarily know what to do with it. You throw it in the inbox. So that's it. It's the inbox is a folder within a folder, and you can throw PDFs in there. You can throw photos in there. You can throw news articles in there. You can put emails in there. You name it. It's a place you store things, and the AI will help you file it in the right location later. The next one is ventures. Ventures is what you own and what your business and your clients might be in. So, like for me, I'm a serial entrepreneur and I own multiple businesses. And so, in order to clean up what's in my head, I have to organize it by venture. This business here, the hostel there, the game company there, and all the respective files are within that, subfolder. This is just a good way to do it by kind of an area. The next one are projects. Projects are time boxed work with a deadline. So you try to not have too many projects going at once because your chance of actually completing each one are much lower when you do that. And the idea is any files for that relative project exist within that. When you're done with them, you can move them into the archive. Then you've got the bridge. The bridge is one I'm most proud of. It's the one that's the least taken from the knowledge of people I've learned from, and more something that I've personally wanted to build. And MaxShip, my venture studio, is actually really built around. And what it is it's what you and your agents and automations are reading daily, and how you're making insights based off of it. So within the bridge, I put things like business strategies. I put things like playbooks. So like, let's say I read a new book and I got a lot of insights from it, and I want myself and my AI to use that information often, like when we're trying to make decisions or reasoning based on data. I put that in the bridge. Imagine a big ship, spaceship, sea ship, you name it, or MaxShip, which is what we're called. The bridge is that kind of like command layer where you're in the bridge as the captain and all the first officers, and you're making executive decisions on what to do with the data you're getting. So for me, as like someone who's very marketing focused, I get like open rates from emails, and I have to make decisions with that. I get video results in our, let's say, like ad click-through rates and CPMs, return on ad spend. There's so many acronyms that we have to make decisions off of. I thought, why don't I just use the bridge as a place to throw all of that data, and I can use that to make better decisions. This is something that I actually am building an automated system on, and MaxShip will be able to offer agentic marketing systems that are basically like always on marketing systems for you. And that exists within the bridge. Now, for you to use the bridge for yourself, just think about it as the place where you're storing your strategies and you're storing your playbooks to make better business decisions. Then there's resources. These are templates. These are swipe files, which are like, like some research you've done and stuff like that. Maybe some details on tools and so forth. Like for tools, I use a lot of tools in my daily life. I use different APIs for sending emails. I use a different API for posting on websites. I use a different API for checking the analytics of those websites. So that's just an example of tools. I store all that information in memory inside the resource folder. And what's really nice about that is anytime I ask the AI to do something, it's using this resource folder to go, oh, okay, Max asked to improve the conversion rate of a landing page. Well, I can see we use this landing page builder, so this is what I'm going to go use to go build the new landing page. Lastly is the archive. It's where you put the done and dead. It's kept out of the way, but it's still kept for future information and learning, because just because you're done with something doesn't mean you want to delete it and get rid of it, because there's a lot of insights and information that you could use in the future on it. And that's why it's really important to consider the types of files that you're storing inside of your shared context memory bank with the AI. There's two types of files that I like to prioritize. Obviously, in the world of files, there's a lot of types. There's PDFs, there's Excel files, there's HTML files, and so forth. I want you to just think about two of them right now and prioritize making more of these, because the more you make these, the better you and your AI can work together. The first one is Markdown. Markdown is basically a plain text file. It's a file that AIs love because it's very low in terms of size of individual files, and it's very easy to read for an AI as well as a person. Now, for people, reading AI friendly files aren't always the best. When you try to open up a Markdown file versus, say, like a doc file, it's tiny plain text, it's unformatted, it's a bit hard to read. So there's great tools out there that are completely free that make reading Markdown files more friendly. I personally suggest a tool that's open source, completely free, works on every computer, every phone, and it's called Obsidian. Obsidian is an awesome app that lets you customize how you look at things, and you can basically open this folder system that I'm describing in Obsidian and interact with the entire folder space that way. It's very user friendly and essentially just a view of the folder system. That way you have a more friendly way of looking at it, and everything inside of it's a markdown folder. So for you, it's friendly because you can use tools like Obsidian to view it in a more friendly, easy to use, you can customize it kind of way. But then you also have things like HTML, which is where really fun kicks in. I think HTML is kind of the most underrated way to work with AI, because AI used the internet to train itself. And HTML is the internet. Almost every single website is in HTML. So AI is really good at reading and creating HTML. And everyone's talking about Markdown files, which aren't that pretty to look at and very limited in terms of what they can do. But HTMLs can do pages, decks, dashboards, This screen you're seeing with the visualization of the points that I've been talking about this entire time are HTML. This entire video was edited through an HTML based AI editor that was completely open sourced and free. HTML is incredible. So if you want something that's visually rich and interactive, ask the AI to make you an HTML of it. Maybe you want to go on a trip and you want to know what the weather's like, or you want to know what the busy period of the time year is. Ask it to make charts in HTML and be amazed at what it makes you. Maybe you just want to have as much information compact as possible across many different categories and you're trying to digest and crunch some numbers. Go with Markdown. It's great for specific number and specific information bunches. So, three things that will change once you start building within this folder system as a business builder, operator, marketer, you name it. Number one, it just understands you right away. When you open up Claude and you click work within a folder, specifically on Claude Cowork or Claude Code, what it's going to be able to do, and the same goes for Codex and GPT, by the way, and a lot of the other AI tools, is not only is it going to be able to understand everything right away, so you don't need to explain it. You don't have to drag and drop a bunch of folders to give it the context, all that kind of stuff. It should be able to go and do exactly what you want it to do right away. And that's what's really nice about this system is you don't have to start every fresh session completely fresh with the AI. The AI knows what to do and how to do it and where to do it because the folder system has told it where everything is and how to go about it. The starter kit that I've built for you goes above and beyond on that. It takes advantage of the latest and greatest advice and systems to make sure that the AI is constantly aware of how to index and organize things. I've used the most recent June update from Google's, they call it the OKF system, which is an open knowledge framework, which basically is a framework to help agents use open source systems to store and organize information in an efficient, token efficient wise, money efficient wise, contextual system. That's a lot of jargon to basically say, I've done all the hard work for you. And if you get this starter pack, it just kind of works with everything you need in mind. Number two, you're not locked in. This folder system is not something that I make money off of. It's not something that any model tool requires. You could use Claude, you could use GPT, you could use OpenClaw. You don't even need AI to enjoy and use this. It's just a great framework and focus to build a business system around. And then lastly, it compounds. Those lessons from last quarter will contribute to the following quarter's strategy. Those insights you gained, those decisions you made are constantly being logged and indexed and being used to make better decisions. That's what makes this whole thing beautiful is it compounds. So this is the system that my team and I run every day. You can use this framework for yourself. And to make this a bit easier for you is if you just answer a few questions as soon as you take the folder, you download it, which you can get on the link below. That's how you can get the folder. Once you have it downloaded, go to Claude Code, go to Claude Cowork, go to GPT, open the folder and say, I want to work with inside of this folder every single time you're doing work. And then say, hey, let's get started. And what it's going to do is it's going to ask you a few questions, your name, your goals, what you're building, how you want it to help. And it's actually going to reorganize the folder. It's a smart folder to kind of set it itself up in the way you want to use it. So that will allow you to get, way ahead, much faster by simply just dropping it in and saying get started. So that's the system. Get the folder in the link below. If you have any questions, drop a comment and thanks for coming by.